Women were cooking and baking and got into canning, started in the kitchen and then moved to sheds, wagon houses, and barns. Then the husbands took over. Mrs. Shemp, Mrs. Hogate started first can houses in LAC. Tomatoes was one of the first things canned in New Jersey. Salem County was second in canning. One of the first can houses was run by Waddington Ridgway, south end of Hancock's Bridge. It started in 1890 and ran for 9 years. Richard Greer's can house off of Salem Hancock's Bridge Road canned fried tomatoes, not peeled tomatoes. Green Brothers on Main and Poplar Streets in Hancock's Bridge canned tomatoes and later caviar from Sturgeon Row, one of the earliest caviar canners. Chowie Holiday had a can house at Harmersville, just north of the senior citizen complex, unknown date. Star Brothers had a can house on Front Street near the bridge in Hancock's Bridge and canned for 6 years, canned just tomatoes. He sold the can house to Robert Griscom, who canned for 10 years, and he canned tomatoes, beets, and pumpkins. He sold the can house to Fogg and Hires, which was one of the largest canners in Lower Elway Creek. 3 can houses at the boat ramp in Hancock's Bridge, first owned by Robert Griscom, then sold to Carl and Brown. This can house canned only tomatoes. Carl and Brown was bought out by Ed Shemp, who added more buildings. He owned 7 farms and did this during the 1930s. The Canton Can House was started by Mr. Shepard and by Mr. Garrison. At one point, they produced 40,000 cans a day. 126 wagons lined the streets of Canton during a glut. Herman F. Smith canned only pears. He started around 1910 and was located behind his general store in the southern part of Canton.